I'm Tabitha, and I'm about to freak out that the year's half over and my TBR is not done. So if you have spent any time on BookTube in the month of June, you've probably noticed this new trend going around called the mid-year book freakout tag or something like that. Basically, it's a whole bunch of questions that let you freak out about the really good books that you've read or books that disappointed you, and then freak out about the fact that the year is half over and your TBR is not done. So join me if you want. I'm doing the tag. By the way, if you have a YouTube or BookTube channel that I'm not already following or that I am following and you like being tagged in these fun book-related tags, definitely let me know because I'm always looking for new people that I can watch and, of course, tag in all these fun videos. Anyway, let's get to the questions. Question number 1. What is the best book you've read so far in 2020? Okay, that's hard. It's easy because I keep track of all the books I read and I have a spreadsheet and it's meticulously organized, but it's hard because I've already read 13 books in 2020 that I rated 5 stars. So I've read 13 outstanding books that cross genres that everyone should read, so that's really hard. But if I had to pick the absolute best so far in 2020, I'm going to go with Bits and Pieces by Dawn Hosmer. This was thrilling. It was well written. It was descriptive. It surprised me. I adored this book. I'm keeping it. It's one that I'm going to probably reread. It's getting one of those coveted spots on my shelf of one that is like a new favorite. I mean, everybody needs to be reading this book. If you haven't read it yet, go get it because this book was amazing and it will appeal to so many readers. So I'm going with Bits and Pieces by Dawn Hosmer as the best book that I've read so far in 2020. Even though I cannot believe I read this in 2020, it feels like it was longer ago than that. Question number 2. What is the best sequel you read in 2020? Okay, this one's a little easier because according to my spreadsheet, of those 13 5-star books that I read, only 3 of them were sequels. So looking at those 3 and trying to choose, I'm going to go with the best sequel I read in 2020 being Speaker for the Dead by Orson Scott Card. This, of course, is a sequel to Ender's Game. And the reason I'm going with this one is because this book is great on its own, not just because it's a sequel. It feels different than Ender's Game. The vibe is different than Ender's Game. The message is different. Everything about this book was completely different. It doesn't fall into the shadow of the book that came before it. It's not trying to be exactly like the book that came before it. It's completely original and yet amazing in its own way. In fact, if you have never read Speaker for the Dead by Orson Scott Card, I'm going to highly suggest you go get this one. It is a book I can't believe I waited this long to read. It gets a spot on my shelf. Again, it is one I will reread. It's amazing. It will make you think. So this one, Speaker for the Dead by Orson Scott Card, is the best sequel that I read so far in 2020. Question 3. What is a new release that you haven't read yet, but you want to? Okay, out of all the questions on this, this is the one that's going to get the most comments. And people be like, oh my gosh, you're so basic. Yeah, I'm aware. It's this one. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is the new release that I haven't gotten to yet, that I totally want to. It's, to be fair, I have a lot. I think I've purchased 4 in just this week. I think I've purchased 4 books. I've won 3 in giveaways, and I had somebody lend me one. But this is, out of all of those, this is the newest release date. Like, this one just came out, and I impulse bought it. I wasn't even going to. So, yeah, it's basic, and I'm aware of it. Some of you were like, don't read it, but I'm going to read it. So, this is the one. This is the new release I haven't gotten to yet, and I want to. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I can never remember that title. It's a mouthful. Question 4. What is the most anticipated release for the second half of 2020? Oh, that's hard. Okay, here's what I think I'm going with. I'm going to go with Bellevue by C.S. Alleyne. I don't own this one in a physical copy. I own an ebook copy, so the cover looks like this. I'm super excited about this one. This one comes out in August of 2020, and the reason I'm so excited about this one is not just because I was approved as an ARC reader and already have it, but because this one sounds exactly like what I'm totally in the mood for right now. It's like, it's really dark and it sounds scary. It's like a horror novel, and we got paranormal, and I'm just super, super excited about this. The cover looks great. It looks like it's going to drop me right into that gothic style setting that I'm really looking for. So I'm going with my most anticipated 2020 release for the second half of 2020 is Bellevue by C.S. Allen. Question 5. What has been the biggest disappointment so far in 2020? So according to my spreadsheet, I've only read 3 books so far this year that I've rated 1 star. And honestly, looking at all those, none of them were like gut punch disappointments, which sounds bad, but I think it's because in a way I was almost expecting to be disappointed in those ones. That sounds really bad, but whatever. I'm just going with it. So I look at my 2 stars, and as soon as I looked at my 2 stars, the answer jumped out at me. One of them, like, it hurt all over again, going, oh my God, I can't believe how disappointed I was in this book. And that one is Songs of the Humpback Whale by Jodi Picoult. She is one of my absolute favorite authors in the world, and it still hurts how disappointed I was in this book. Like, I expected to pick up this book and love every page and every character, just like I always do. Her books are wonderful, and I expected to feel something and be shocked, but I didn't expect to find it to be so incredibly problematic. It made me angry, it frustrated me, and it just all around was disappointing. So I don't own the book to hold it up for you because I don't tend to keep books around that disappoint me like that. So you just get the ebook copy cover. Songs of the Humpback Whale by Jodi Picoult has been my biggest disappointment in 2020. Question 6. What has been the biggest surprise so far of 2020? This question is easy for me to answer because I love being surprised by a book. I love when maybe I pick up a cover and I'm not sure what I'm going to think, or I think I'm going to be underwhelmed, and then the book is just, boom, amazing. I love hidden gems like that. So for me, so far in 2020, the biggest good surprise has been Falling for Wolf by Dawn Marie Clifton. And I had an ebook copy of this, so again, you get the ebook version of the cover, but Falling for Wolf was hands down the biggest surprise. Reading the description and looking at the cover, I just wasn't sure what I would think of this one. Historical fiction is something I love, but romance is not my favorite. So historical romance, I thought, ooh, it could be tropey, right? And I'm opinionated about romance tropes, you know that. But this book, it was wonderful. It surprised me at every twist and turn. It didn't have my least favorite tropes. The characters are awesome. The book was well written. I mean, I just loved everything about this book. It turned out to be a 5-star read for me that I highly recommended, whether you're a romance fan or not. I mean, if you haven't read this one yet, go get it, because it was amazing and it was well worth the read. And I'm pretty sure I remember it being cheap on ebook. So go get it. So my biggest good surprise in 2020 has been Falling for Wolf by Dawn Marie Clifton. Question 7. Who is your favorite new author? So for this question, I went authors that are new to me. As in, I read them for the first time in 2020 and had never read them before. And when I thought about it that way, it made this answer obvious and amazing because Karen Larranaga, author of Dawn's Hill and Dawn's Shadow, is not an author I'd heard of before 2020. I picked up, you can see these were arcs, I picked up Dawn's Hill, which Karen sent me, and then immediately had to go with Dawn's Shadow because it was that good. These 2 books earned one of my coveted spots on my bookshelf right next to my other favorite authors. Definitely she gets listed as one of my new favorite authors, and I don't say that lightly. I only have a few favorites, and this definitely, she's proved to be a new favorite. These books were well written, they're paranormal but believable, their thrills are intense, they take you on a ride that you will love. If you have not already read Dawn's Hill and Dawn's Shadow, you need to go get these right now. They are unbelievably amazing books, and Karen is definitely new favorite. So my new favorite author, Karen Larranaga. Question number 8. Who is your newest fictional crush? Okay. This question is practically impossible for me. I have never been the kind of person who picks up a book and reads it and goes, oh my gosh, I love that character, I'm crushing on them. Like, I love characters, but not because I have a crush on them. I don't know. It's never been a thing for me. So I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to name my own characters, and I'm going to name the characters that I built loosely on characteristics my husband has that I love. So yes, I'm aware that that's cheating, but I'm just going to go with it. So the characters I'm going with are Jordan and Tudor, who are 2 of my husband's favorite characters as well. And if you take the 2 of them, you take certain parts of the 2 of them and mesh them into one person, and it's definitely my husband. And I'm not going to point out what all of them are. So I can't go with this one because I didn't even read any of it in 2020. So we'll go technically Training Tutor. We're going to go Tutor from Training Tutor because I read my final read through in 2020. So my fictional crush in 2020, Tutor from Training Tutor. And yes, I'm aware that's cheating. Whatever. Question 9. Who is your newest favorite character? So this one is pretty easy for me because the answer jumped out at me right away. I have to go with John Matthew. He's the sarcastic, snarky troublemaker from A Little Insurrection Now and Then by Tom Levine. Tom is my favorite author, hands down, and he writes some of my favorite characters. But John is my new favorite for 2020. He's well written, he's full of attitude, plus his book is free right now from Tom's website, tomlevine.com. So you have no excuse. Go get the book. You will love John. You will love A Little Insurrection Now and Then. I mean, just go get it. He's my new favorite character. Question 10. What is the most recent book that made you cry? Okay, I need to mention that this is hard for authors to do. I am not an inherently emotional person, and it takes a lot, takes something big for a book to make me cry. In fact, I can only think of 5 books in my life that have ever made me cry. So at first I thought, I'm not going to have an answer to this. And then I realized, no, I actually do. And it makes me feel bad that I'm using the same book twice in a row, but A Little Insurrection Now and Then by Tom Levine. Sorry to use it twice in a row, but it is the only book I've read in 2020 that made me cry. And it wasn't like big crocodile tears like Mercy Rule by Tom Levine, but it made me cry. It definitely brought tears to my eyes and brought up that emotion. So that's the answer I'm going with. So fun fact, I just told you I've only cried at 5 books in my life, and 2 of them were by Tom Levine. So, I mean, that tells you something about the kind of emotional books this guy writes. But the most recent book to make me cry, A Little Insurrection Now and Then by Tom Levine. Number 11. What is a book that made you happy in 2020? That's a long list because books are my happy place. So I've read like 100 and something books this year, and all of them? No, I get what you mean because I read thrillers that aren't meant to make you happy, and so I need a book that makes you happy. So I'm going to go with Don't Check Out This Book by Kate Kleiss. It was a middle grade book about kids loving books and learning to love books and learning to appreciate books, which just made me happy all the way through. I mean, I smiled the whole time I was reading it. It's cute, it's adorable, it's fun, and yet it's still real, and the message is hugely important. So if you want a happy book, if you want to feel happy when you're reading it, I'm going to recommend Don't Check Out This Book by Kate Kleiss. Question 12. What is the most beautiful book you've acquired so far in 2020? Oh, I'm excited about this question because now I get to brag about winning a giveaway. So the most beautiful book that I've acquired is a book that I won a giveaway for on Instagram, so you should be following her. Slow Wanes the Night by Catherine Labate. This book is gorgeous. Her covers are always gorgeous. So Long Grows the Dark is the prequel to this. Long Grows the Dark came first. This is the sequel. And Long Grows the Dark would have been one of my favorite covers in 2019. So this one's getting it in 2020 because, oh my God, this cover is gorgeous. And it's that matte finish, so it even feels nice too. Her covers are always amazing. I won this in a giveaway. I actually won 2 books by her in this giveaway. So if you're not following her, you should be because her giveaways are absolutely amazing. Anyway, so this is my favorite cover for 2020, Slow Wanes the Night by Catherine Labate. All right, and finally, question 13. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? Oh, right. So here's where the Freakout part of this tag comes in. You're going to make me think about what I need to read. Okay, so I have 6 advanced reader copies I've already agreed to read before 2020 is over. So I'll name them really quick, but Bellevue, Death Donor, It Will Just Be Us, Soul of the Crow, The Silvered Serpents, and Side Trip. So I still have to read all 6 of those before the year is over. Let's see. I also have 11 review requests already scheduled between now and the end of December 2020. And I do guaranteed reviews. So those 11 are guaranteed to be reviewed before the end of the year. But I also have 6 books that I borrowed from my sister and should probably read and get back to her. And then, no joke, I counted this morning, 56 books on my bookshelf that I've already purchased. I've already paid for them. I already have them. They're here that I just need to read. 56. Yeah. And then because I love to get ahead of the review schedule and be an overachiever and finish things early, it'd be really cool to get started on the other 15 review requests that are scheduled for the start of 2021. That would be cool. So it's a lot of books. I should probably go read. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, my friends, that is it for me and the mid-year book freak out tag. And I'm only freaking out a little bit. I did good. It was so much fun to talk with you about the books that I've liked this year that made me cry or have gorgeous covers. I hope that you had fun too. If you have a channel that I should be following, let me know. If you like to be tagged in tags, let me know. Otherwise, drop a comment to let me know you're still here. Hit subscribe, tap that little bell so you know when I'm back. Keep plotting the path to your own dreams, and I will see you next time. Bye!